All right. Move. Think my system is trying to stabilize itself. All right, so I think you should be able to hear me now. Um, okay. All right, so I believe everyone on here can hear me well. And I believe you can also see my chart. Give me a minute to just set up. Um, Let me just make sure that this is all set. Right, just so as not to take too much of our time, let's just look into the charts quickly. Trying to confirm and just make sure that my audio and video are quite visible and audible. All right, but we'll just be kicking off now. All right, so welcome, guys. Thank you for joining us for today's live trading session. Again, welcome back to Easy FX Academy. All right, from wherever you're coming from wherever you're joining us from, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, all the felicitations and salutations possibly that can be given. All right, so we'll be looking at just a few commodities. All right, before I start, if you have any commodity or you have any pair that you would love for us to look at together, you should feel free. All right, feel free to just drop them in the chat box or in the live chat box. Just drop them there, and I would be addressing as many as possible, if not all of them. All right. Sorry, I wanted to open this before. Unfortunately, it seems network and a couple of other things are slowing me down. But let's just go in. All right. So first off, let's look at DXY. All right. So we're looking at some the majority of the pairs I'll just be watching out for, or I'll be talking about during the course of the live stream would be um dollar pairs, all right, or pairs against dollars, or commodities rather, currencies against dollars, all right. So let's just look at DXY quickly and see what exactly we are expecting, all right. So if you're able to join us for our market review on Sunday, Monday, all right, you should have been able to um, you would have heard when we're talking about the fact that we were expecting some level of weakness, all right, from the US dollar during the course of the week. We got to see that happen quite simply from this zone. I think I marked out this zone um, during the market review session, all right. So currently we're seeing that, okay, so this was as I said earlier, this was that was on during the market review, right? This was the candle that we got to see as a result of NFP, all right. And what I was talking about was the fact that after NFP, all right, the imbalance, all right, or the fair value gap that got created during all those impulsive news releases, as it were, all right, price will do its best to come and recover, all right, the liquidity left behind by those fair value gaps or imbalances, all right. It might not exactly happen immediately, all right, but eventually price will be tending towards clearing, all right, of that debt, so to speak, all right, that was left behind from the imbalances, all right. So we got to see that even during the course of this week, I think this was even as a result of CPI, right? We got to see that CPI news was bearish, or it came out bearish for the US dollar, and you can see that the candle that was created as a result of that came out to even clear liquidity from this massive, massive fair value gap left behind during the course of NFP. All right, you can see, so you can see a sort of correctional move, all right, that happened in that wise. All right, so right now, what should we be expecting from the US dollar? All right, so now the trade ideas that I'll be mentioning or during the course of this um session, all right, will just be things you can probably watch out for, let's say between today and tomorrow, and they might, all right, because I do get to give trade ideas that would last for weeks, all right, or a week plus, all right. So they might be trade ideas. These might be trades that we might not get to see happen this week, all right, but maybe towards Monday or Tuesday, all right. But all the same, let's just go into it. So I have the zone marked out here. Let me just give you the coordinates to that. 105.180 and 105.325. All right. So currently I'm watching out for DXY, which is the US dollar index, all right, to still push up a little bit towards that zone. All right. So that'll be my supply zone that I'll be watching out for. And pending when price gets into that supply zone, all right, then I'll be watching out for a continuation of the bearishness on DXY. All right. So again, 105.180 and 105.325. All right. So I was watching out for that exact zone, all right, to continue bearish on DXY. I think about a few minutes ago, that was about 30 minutes ago or so. That's why I'm trying to open the Forex Factory website. All right. So we had PPI release. All right. That was around 1:30 p.m. All right. So all that being said, I was just watching out for this zone. All right. I'm watching out for prices to come up into this zone, and then we move from there. All right. So I hope that is clear for DXY. So quickly, let's just look at some commodities or some pairs against DXY. Again, if you have any commodities you would like for us to look at, please feel free and drop them in the chat box. All right, feel free and drop them in the chat box, and we'll look at them promptly. All right, we'll look at them promptly. All right, so let's quickly go on. This is the chart of gold. This is gold, XAUUSD. So simply put, I'll be watching out for XAUSD to continue bullish. All right, in this wise, to continue bullish. I do want to be careful, however, and I'll give you reasons for me saying that in a bit. Give me a minute. Let me just. This is the 4 hours. Yes. Yes. All right, wonderful. So this was our initial demand zone. All right, where we got this initial buy from, and you can see that price actually gave us that buy, but still came back to. So you see that. Let me delete this so that I'll be able to mark this out. Give me a minute, please. Yes. All right. So we see that. Now we know that price definitely is not going to just keep moving because it's a bullish move. It's not going to just keep moving straight. All right. You have price moving up. All right. Coming down. Moving up again. Coming down. All right. What we know as your high, your higher low, then your lower low, and all of those movements and whatnot. All right. So in this case, it's an uptrend. All right. And we got to see that price came back, tested this order block here. All right, this was the initial order block that we got this reaction from. All right, after this move. All right, let me just mark that out better. Yes, all right, and we got to see that price came down rather, touched it, and then we got to see another move. All right, so right now, if I thought we should be looking for anything, we should be looking rather towards gold continuing on that bullish move. All right, so that's why I had this zone marked out earlier. coordinates 2304.54 and 2297.83. 2304.54 and 2297.83. All right, so that's why I had that exact zone marked out. And I think again, this was not up to here about a few minutes ago, but I think PPI got to push price into that region. All right, so I'll still be watching out for gold to still move up a bit. It is fairly safe for me to say that if I'll be watching out for this trade, I'll be watching out for possibly price to come up all the way towards this region here. This is around 2353.73, 2353.73. So that will be where I'll be watching out for price to possibly turn bearish. All right, for us to get probably a long sell, so to speak, from that area. All right, so I hope that is clear. I'm watching out currently for price to still be bullish on gold. All right, up to this point, 2353.73. All right, so I hope that is taken for gold. Next up, let's look at USD CAD. Let's look at USD CAD. All right, so something similar. All right, on USD CAD, we did mention that we're going to get some bearishness. We got to see that happen, and right now I'll be watching out for. Let me delete this so that this will be a bit cleaner. Yeah, so right now I have this very huge zone I marked out earlier here. All right, so preferably if I'm going to be taking this trade now, I'll be watching out for price to possibly come up even into the 50% of this zone. This is between 1.37914 and 1.37592. All right, so it's quite a large zone. All right, but I want to be very watchful for price to still come up into there. That'll be my preferred zone for a sell continuation on USD card. All right, so we're going to see that price has come up, cleared liquidity from this fair value gap that was left behind. All right, still came up again to clear liquidity left behind from another fair value gap. This was the one that we got during CPI release yesterday. All right, so I think it's fairly safe to say we can still continue bearish here. All right, but this will be an ideal zone, all right, for me to watch out for before taking off on any sales on USD card. All right, so I hope that also is clear on USD card. Let's look at GBP USD next. Yes, all right, so GBP USD, I think during the course of the last market review, I was mentioning that there was every possibility. I had this trend line that we drew up here, and I said there was every possibility for us to see price break below that trend line. All right, so I remember saying that if you thought you were going to take a buy trade on GBP USD in the course of the week, you should be careful. All right, you shouldn't just say because I've drawn a line, market is supposed to, or price is supposed to respect your line. Okay, can respect and it can also disrespect your line. Any one of the one that happens. All right. At the end of the day, we got to see exactly that happening. We got to see price still drop a little bit before we got to see that buy. All right, and that buy was further expanded on when we got to see CPI news release yesterday. All right, so something similar to what I said for gold. All right, I was still watching out for a buy also to still happen. However, for GBP USD, my preferred zone, all right, for me to wait for that to happen will be here. All right, which is just simply let me just show you this. All right, this is just a zone that I got out using my Fibonacci. All right, so this will be, I hope you can see that. All right, so this will be my preferred zone for a buy. All right, on GBP right now, this is between 1.27298 and 1.27061. All right, so we can still see this level of bearishness. All right, so possibly we'll get to still see price, drop a little bit more into that zone before we get to see our buy happen. All right, so probably possibly buy will go up to here. All right, so again, the zone I'm watching out for a buy on GBP USD right now will be 1.27298 and 1.27061. All right, so I hope that also is clear for GBP USD. Next up, let's look at AUD USD. Then we'll do Euro USD. All right, so I'll do AUD USD now. Then we'll do Euro USD. Let me check. Does anyone have any commodity? All right, not yet. All right, so AUD USD. All right, something similar to what we've already said for GU and gold already. Again, we're going to see price, clear liquidity, all of that. I'm watching out for this zone again for my buy between 0.66062 and 0.65903, 0.66062 and 0.65903. Alternatively, I do want to be fairly careful here. All right, so let me mark this point out. Give me a minute, please. All right, that'll be somewhere around here. Yes, that'll be somewhere around here. All right, so yeah, this is around. I won't give it up as a zone exactly, but this is around 0.66270. Yes, 0.66270. So alternatively, I'm watching out for that point. All right. If by the time price gets towards that point, I get to see possibly a lower time frame confirmation that tells me it is very likely for us to have started a buy, then I'll be taking my buy from there instead of waiting for price to drop as far as that zone on AUD USD. All right, so after it's clear for AUD USD, so let me just use the path tool to drop what I would be expecting. All right, so one of these two scenarios, give me a minute, please. All right, so something towards one of these two scenarios. All right, to happen on AUD USD. I hope that is clear. Also, all right, next up, let's look at Euro USD. Euro USD. Sorry, give me a minute. I think my chart is still not fully okay. So all right, so for Euro USD again, something similar. So you'll be seeing a trend here already. All right, so a sort of correlation between pairs or commodities against the dollar. All right, so again on Euro USD, let me just give you the coordinates straightforward. My coordinates for a preferred buy will be around 1.07515 and 1.07344. 1.07515 and 1.07344. All right, that we are watching out for. That will be rather we are watching out for a buy to happen on Euro USD. All right, and I have reason to believe that it is very possible for us to still get to see price come towards that region. All right, we still have a fair amount of the FVG left behind. All right, so something similar to what I just said for AUD USD though. Alternatively, we can watch out for the possibility of price stopping out even before it gets there. So sorry, for the buy happening even before it gets there. And that point for me would be around 1.07735. All right, so you can see I've marked out this region, which is sort of the order flow, all right, that we got to see before we got to see this impulsive move from the CPI release yesterday. All right, so I'm watching out for that to happen on Euro USD. So again, something similar. I'll either watch out for this or I'll watch out for this. All right, but before I'll be taking any of these trades, I will be watching out for my own confirmations, all right, on the lower time frames before taking any of these trades. All right, so I would advise you do the same. I'm sure for all of us on this call, or for most of us on this call, we have our own different criteria that we use to take trades. All right, so by every means, please do ensure that you have a confluence of criteria, or yes, a confluence of criteria before taking any of these trades. All right, so that is it for Euro USD. All right, so far no one dropped any commodities for us to look at in the chat box. All right, so I'll do one more pair. I'll do one more pair and then we'll call it an afternoon. All right. So let's see. I would have loved to do any mini mini mo. I'm trying to think of just one random one to pick anyway. Let's do GJ. Should we do GJ? Yes. All right, so let's do GJ. All right, so let's just quickly do GJ. So for GJ, let's probably just go up to the daily time frame. GJ, I was expecting GJ to be bearish, all right, during the course of this week, and GJ royally shanked me. All the same, we move. All right, so on GJ currently, we can see that GJ is looking extremely bullish, extremely. bullish. We've gotten to see that price has broken this eye left behind by that's very, very amazing week. All right. So let's exactly see. I had this zone marked out because all right, it was a range. All right, so I was expecting price to break out of that range. All right, and now let me just delete that. All right, so price, unfortunately, I was expecting price to break out. All right, towards the downside. All right, but we got to see price break up and break out rather towards the upside. All right, so my bias on GJ would be bullish, but I want to watch out for where we can enter in for that. Give me a minute, let me check the daily time frame. Mm, okay, so let me mark out this. This is quite far out. In fact, very, very far. Very, very far. All right, so I'll still pick that. Um, okay. I think I can even decide to move that up a bit. All right, so this will be the zone I'll be watching out for a buy on GJ. All right, so something towards this end. That'll be between 200.417 and 200.174. Again, 200.417 and 200.174. All right, so I'm watching out for that push towards the upside. From there, I'll be watching out for a buy to happen from. All right, so all of that being said, oh sorry, Jola Osho Sadiq, AED card. I almost missed your message. I sincerely almost missed your message. All right, so let's just quickly look at that before we end. All right, so AUD card. All right, so I hope that was clear for GG anyway. AUD card, AUD card. Wonderful. All right, let me move this. So for AUD card, I think a very simplistic way for us to look at this. Give me a minute. Hmm. Okay. Then let's just mark this place out. And then I think we can just okay. So we've not gotten to see price there. All right, so for AED card, I'll give us about two zones that we might be watching out for in the wise then. This will be one. This little FVG that is still quite far away. Give me a minute. All right, so this is between 0 0.9, sorry. This is between 0 0.90687 and 0 0.90616. All right, for a buy on AUD card. Alternatively, now on AD card, I am very tempted to say right now we might be watching out for, or we might be watching AD card continue its buy already from where it is. Actually, so give me a minute. Let me just have a better look at that right now. All right. This will be our current pivot. So let me just give you the coordinates for this pivot right now. 0 0.91298 and 0 0.91164. All right, so you can see that price currently is around that pivot. So what do I mean by pivot? Resistance, resistance, resistance. Still resisted it, still resisted it. So price kept dropping from there. Finally, price broke up, and then we have the possibility of price now acting as, oh sorry, or that zone rather acting as a support. All right, for us to get to see that push towards the upside on AUD card. All right, so I'm watching out for that. I might not necessarily enter a buy right now. I'll just be very, very careful for. I'll be careful rather to watch out what price will do if this zone would still hold. All right, so for me, we've had about 3 or so touches in this zone, and that is not as that will not be that's not a preferred reaction. All right, when I get to see price come up into a zone or come towards a zone. All right, so let's watch out for that. So I'm watching out for buys currently on that AD card. So if we don't get to see, if we get to see this If we get to see this pivot zone getting broken, all right, then I'm watching out for this point around 0.91027, 0.91027. All right, so I hope I hope that is clear. All right, Mr. Jola Osho, I think you're a Mr. Jola Osho Sadiq. I hope that is clear for what I'm expecting to happen on AUD CAD. All right. Thank you very much for joining us for today's live trading session. And I'm very sure if you're able to just take up any of these trades, all right, you should be able to make proper profit from the market. All right. Do well to send your results, all right, from any of these trades to the group. All right. We'd love to hear from you. All right. So thank you very much for joining us. We'll be dropping our market review session video on Sunday rather. So please do well to also view that. All right. If you have not already subscribe to the channel. Sorry, I think Boja Clips gold. We've already done gold, sir. He's saying check gold, sir. He's saying check gold, sir. So we've actually done gold already. See me, I was just giving closing remarks, and then somebody came to come and say check gold, sir. It is fair. So, sir, this is what we're expecting on gold currently. All right, so you can just go back towards the beginning part of the stream, and you should be able to get a clearer picture, right? So this one I'm just showing you, at least you'll be able to hear what I said concerning gold. All right, if you go back. So again, thank you very much for joining us for today's trade session. Do also like, share, subscribe, comment. All right, if you have anything that you would love for us to possibly